Chair, I am bringing this matter because we've discussed this matter, and I recall the last time we interfaced with the police. We raised this issue. You find people who ordinarily should be moving with one police officer in a vehicle, moving with a lead car and an escort car. What is the cost of that one lead car? What is the cost of that escort vehicle? How many motorcycles would we procure if we actually did away with those vehicles that you are giving to people who don't even deserve? I am saying this because I have seen people. You find officers in some institutions who are not even known by the public. The other day I was at Sheraton. I said, who is this coming? Police lights, vehicle, policemen jumping out of the car. Some lady got out. I didn't even know who she was. Now, if I cannot know who she is, so how can the public even know who she is? And is her existence a threat? Why are we wasting resources guarding people heavily when they should not actually be guarded the way they are guarded? I would accept there are those who you need to guard in that way, but not everybody. Why should some people in some government institutions who are not even, anyway, there are people holding high offices, but they are not a threat. Why should they have a lead car? Then they have an escort car with, those are 6 policemen, by the way. So that is what I wanted to raise. We are actually wasting resources and you know, taxing the taxpayer heavily for no reason. That one vehicle, 2 vehicles you have deployed to some of these officers, I don't want to mention them here, would actually procure these 952 motorcycles that you're talking about. Not everybody deserves to be guarded the way you guard them. And this is something, Chair, that we need to take up as a committee. There is a lot of wastage of resources, deployment of resources in areas that actually do not require resources. Thank you.
Yeah, but the information should be brief. Eh?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I want to say it's not just bread. Yes, there are people in this country who do not deserve any kind of security, but they have them and they abuse them. We had a scenario in Mbale. Somebody had 18 policemen, 6 in each of his homes. And together with the local people, we petitioned and they had to redeploy them. But the question is why? These people end up misusing the force. I think to the Inspector General of Police, it is important that we know where the forces are being deployed.
Now,
who qualifies?
Yes.
Even these people now have now gotten another, I've seen some other deployments there. But they are not warranted. They are not in any threat. They don't hold any office that warrants that. They are not at risk at all. But they abuse the force. They use, yes, actually that is what happens. Because they are criminals, they want to intimidate others, do every wrong thing, because they have the force around them.
Honorable colleagues, because of time.
Chair.
Because of time.
I just want to inquire.
No, because of time. We are not proceeding. One, for purposes of exposing the strength of our force. I have a record here, you all have it. It's not very critical. It's very, very important. We don't know who is listening in and whatever. Secondly, but the question of you have assured the motorcycles will be procured. But can you respond to Honorable Sarah and Wanda?
Chair, allow me also add on this. So, Chairman, you talked about the sub-county, which is, it is well built, but you have not mentioned it. It's well built, well facilitated, according to how I see it. but you have not mentioned it, and it's one of those ones which were first introduced.
About deployment. Actually, currently we are revisiting and reviewing. We have brought it to the attention of government, and the Right Honorable Prime Minister has written to all entities. We want to withdraw all our vehicles from those entities, and we are proposing that in case somebody maybe would wish, he buys his own vehicle, and then maybe we support something like that. And then we are also writing a cabinet memo to guide us on who is entitled for security and how many is the person entitled for guidance, so that we take this concern seriously.
Chairman, but with that comes a simple issue for us also. And if you are given police protection, that automatically gives you the right of way. I'm given a lead car and wherever, I'm protected. Must I bounce people? Eh? I'm already protected. Must I bounce people off the road menacingly, uncultured? Two, there are also vehicles with some Bugombe, silence. Private vehicles with silence. The man just bumps everybody with the siren and pushes. So, right of way. Because it's so for the simple 1 inch. I normally drive from where I stay in Buwate to Kampala. I mean, there are so many police officers who stay on that road. Many. I will not mention who. Many. Some of them, you'll find them in the lane with your vehicle standing in the lane solely. Then a 1 inch comes with this siren and pushes everybody in Segumire.
Are you giving an example?
No, I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying you do it, but you find in Segumire, not the real one, in Segumire with whoever these days buys a big vehicle puts in a siren. Also, from its small issues, even the quality of lights. Somebody stores lighting system. Once their own full, all of you can no longer see. So those small details for us, they were
Chair, there is one small thing I wanted to bring in relation to that. Even the utilization of these sirens. Like yesterday, you clearly see that we are in a lane, there's jam, and the vehicle cannot go anywhere, even if you have a lead car. But the siren is just continuing to kind of make unnecessary noise. I think this needs to be regulated. It's a very huge inconvenience to the road
Honorable
users.
Chair, I think let the Director
Traffic, where are you?
What we have done so far, and I think members will appreciate.
These fellows are terrible.
Some of them are not even running to do anything. You'll find someone with a thief or charcoal in the police vehicle, but you are pushed off the road as if they are, it is so painful.
These days it's like everybody with the government number plate, with the police, with wherever, with the parliament. Let me be clear. This age, official age, it's as if whoever has those numbers has a right of way. And people are going to see their girlfriend, they push you off the road. So, Director Traffic, really? Because you need to ask that young lady who was having, she may be a wife of someone.
No, Chair actually know the person, but she doesn't deserve. When I saw, I had, who is this?
Do you know who they sleep with?
No. That's not necessary. That's not necessary.
So, can we have Director of Traffic? Director Traffic.
No, she's not.
You may think we are cracking the other big issues. For 1 inch, every road user, this could be a debate they are hugely interested in. Because it's too much. Where's the director traffic? Sir,
Chair, just
can we listen to the director traffic?
Yeah, before he comes in, one single thing, and police needs vehicles in their stations. My sub-county, Rubind sub-county, Rubind police station, does not have a vehicle. And yet, I have heard that they are recording the vehicles from these institutions. I want to be given hope how fast, because we've not had a vehicle for almost a year and a half. And yet, the station is on a key junction serving Ibanda, Chiruhura, Buhoju, and there is a lot of animal thefts in that area.
So, honorable colleague,
And we need it. So
we're going to give an
do I
answer,
get hope?
but you also accompany the deputy.
From districts without vehicles, then this raises a very serious concern. So
Chair, it's not an issue.
Mr.
The
Chairman,
police must deliberately withdraw vehicles from individuals who don't deserve these vehicles and deploy them to the districts. Those DPCs and, regional police officers who don't have vehicles need those vehicles in those stations to respond to calls and emergencies.
Maybe
Why
that's
should
why.
nobody have a
Mr.
lead car,
Chairman.
have a police vehicle,
No, make
and
the case.
the whole district does not have?
Make a case better.
Yeah.
You are having increased poverty levels when the actual deployment of resources goes to undeserving people. So we are losing out while some people are living in comfort. Anyway,
you can see this will
head
like
of,
Mitiana, Mr. Chairman.
head
We
of,
don't have a vehicle,
and
they don't
then
see.
Kugonza's issue is important. That Basil is saying a sub-county to have a vehicle. Districts don't have vehicles.
Mitiana. Mitiana.
Mitiana doesn't have a vehicle.
Yes, it is
When
a
Basil
TMC.
says my sub-county here.
TMC, Mitiana.
Anyway, we go equity but majorly, directed traffic. The public out there. That's why these cameras are now even tuning in live. It's something people are concerned about.
Raising a pertinent issue, and very pertinent. The right of way and the law, how it guides us, has been abused. And the abuse is from those who have been given security vehicles and turn them into the vehicles. It is against the law. The state motorcade has a right of way.
So who is supposed to arrest them? Those who
The,
misuse?
the Prime Minister, the Speaker of Parliament, the Chief Justice. Those are the only ones. Then we have the emergency vehicles. And these are police and military vehicles on emergency. It's not that I have a police vehicle, it is on emergency. That's not correct. I don't, as a director of traffic, I don't think anyone has a record, if you know where I stay, that I've ever jumped a queue. Even when I was coming, I don't park here. I park mine at CPS. I don't park here because I'm not provided parking here. I know who has parking. Now, I would like you to get interested in how these sirens are imported in this country. Who imports them? Because even here, members of parliament, whereas I applaud you for giving assistance in emergency response, because most of you have ambulances, and I thank you for having them to supplement the emergency response. But they also do have sirens and put on those beacons. And when you have not passed through the proper way of making them emergency vehicles, and they may not meet the standards of emergency vehicles, but you have sirens on them. We are considering, Honorable Chair, that the sirens are a security component and they should not be imported by anyone. Now, if you are to import, it should be someone that you allowed to import, and then they are for emergency purposes. And there we can control who fixes and who can qualify to have a siren. But, honorable members, I want to assure you, this is something we can stop with immediate effect. If you allow vehicle inspection to be housed in police, vehicle inspection, mandatory vehicle inspection, will remove all this garbage in our fleet, in the whole country. We shall remove unwanted things which they have mounted on our vehicles, and this mandatory inspection usually is done annually or twice in a year. No one will fit those sirens if he or she knows we are going to pass through, they are going to pass through that inspection. It's unfortunate that as I speak now, this is not yet done. And we shall never improve road safety if we do not do vehicle inspection and house it in the police force. It is the police force that pursues, can take you to court, but house it somewhere. If there is a contestation between those inspections, then the police has to come in as an arbiter and must have superior equipment to sort out a contestation. I would like to appeal to you, honorable members, that even when we were discussing other issues concerning theft, sometimes a cow or a goat or a pig is conveyed. There is the means of conveyance. So now, if we are to move forward, we need to do the two things. Automation of all police services. And we have talking about automation for so long. When did the CCTV cameras come here? I was here in 2007 when we had Chogam. We installed the cameras in this city center. Had we continued at that pace, most of these issues we are talking here would not be now an issue to deliberate. If we automate our systems, for example, if you have a farm of 50 animals, you may have a chip put in your cow, and when this cow is going to be slaughtered somewhere, it will be known. It's like a tracking system. Some other countries have done so.
You are taking into a critical area. Let me ask you. Somebody, you are in a queue. I stay in Ichira. Okay? And bypasses everyone. Does that require automation? And in front there is a policeman, traffic man, just stands by and see this man just goes away.
Mr.
Chair,
Chairman,
And let me ask you, you have your own internal communication, I can see them. You can even ring the other officer, stop that vehicle. Before you think about automation, this menace on the road,
Honorable,
you over deploy. Normally in the morning when I'm traveling, they put passengers, they check the car light, they can check the car thing, and they tell you walk away. This menacing, automation, yes, given. I'm not arguing. But this indiscipline is visible, witnessed by your officers of traffic. They are all over.
Mr. Chairman, when they're bosses of police, they bypass, they drive on the wrong way, then you ask yourself, what law are they protecting now? Are they really law enforcers or they are law breakers? And then you want to be given permission. What mandate don't you have to prosecute anyone who breaks the law? You want it to be housed there. How about working together as government agencies?
Chair, there's an officer who any TR, any TR here. Out there, we are at times sent by the speaker, and maybe he also move on specific assignments. But we also benefit by seeing how the roads there move and how the vehicles move. Any mistake out is revenue to the government. Any person who bypasses from Kireka, Nakawa, and so on, those would be 5 tickets. 5 tickets. And all of us would stop. So your automation should lead us to see that anyone who's bypassing is being given the tickets time and again. When they don't pay, the cars are impounded.
You see this abuse?
That is money.
This abuse is being extended to your aircrafts. These helicopters. I see these 190 flying in police helicopters. Tell us who is entitled to use a police helicopter chopper. I see these MPs here, Sujui, quite often. They land in my area there with the police. It's Segumire. They call him on Nigi, now the man lands a police chopper. So tell us, because this abuse has moved from vehicles to police helicopters. We are going to tackle this one of a plane, it is the next one. But tell us, who is entitled, because I also want to have a right. Who is entitled to have a police chopper? And what is the procedure? Because I quite often, we have been witnessing around, you call somebody for Nigina. I've seen some fellows here, I will not mention who. The man lands a police chopper.
Mr. Chairman, maybe they hire them.
Are they for hire so that I know how much I must pay?
Yes.
Is that also under you? Traffic? Who is in charge? NTR? Madam, tell us, Deputy, who is entitled to? Because these are state facilities. There should be a criteria who in Uganda can ride in a helicopter, under which emergency. It's these days, we are going into campaigns. Quite often you will see these, I don't want to mention yellow fellows. Because fellow, you call him, he lands in...
But yellow guys have got their own helicopters.
Which one? Police. I see police helicopters. Are they also official motorcade? State motorcade? So, Madam, tell us,
About dressing. I am Commandant Police Air Wing. Police helicopters are always hired and chartered by the MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies at a fee. And that fee always termed as non-taxable revenue for the police. That money goes to the consolidated fund, and whatever happened to it, I'm not well versed, but that's the trend.
Now, that's why even these school senior 6, what are they called? The promos. They also come and hire a chopper.
But also, is that the reason why we purchased the
Helicopters also perform majorly police work.
that is air surveillance, patrols, medvac, gasvac, maritime and aeronautical rescues, such as and rescue, among the other exercises. So this transportation of MDAs for revenue is an added advantage to either the police or the ministries. But majorly it is to do police work, search and rescue, surveillance, patrol, and police work or transportation with the police officers on duty. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, sir,
Yeah,
you hire those helicopters to those outgoing senior sixes promos. Secondly, how many helicopters do you have, and at what fee do you hire them? You hire them in Kampala, go to Masaka. Is there a different fee? If I fly in Kampala, I pay this. If I fly in Masaka or Kabale or Arua, I also pay this. How do you charge? First of all, I'm not aware that these helicopters are hired to
okay,
the
the accounting officer wants to address this issue. Okay, can you take it up?
So that you get the official answers. But if you start taking on individuals to tell you what they do, then we shall take so long here.
Okay, so now give us
There
the
is
answer.
a guidance to what is chargeable when you want to use police facilities, including choppers and boats. And there is a guide that we issue every year, adjustable to inflation like all non-tax revenue sources. And the commandant has explained that's not our primary objective for having these assets of value, but we extend to MDS on a case-by-case basis. So it's not that we are doing business of hiring choppers to raise revenue. Thank you, Chair.
But Chair, supposing there's an emergency and the chopper is supposed to be used and then it has been hired, what happens in such a situation?
Chair, the choppers are not hired randomly. We manage them and they are within the country. So we also prioritize what takes precedence over the other.
Honorable colleagues, I think your image as you give out a chopper with the police at the end of the day. Now let's talk about this aircraft. You bought an aircraft at a cost of $7.8 million. And this aircraft is called Plagio P180 Avat 11 Evo. This aircraft, which you bought at that cost $7.8 million, is equivalent to how much? It's a lot of money in billions. Get me the figure there. This aircraft, since you bought it in 2019. It has flown for only 117 kilometers since you bought it. Reason, it is incapable of landing on non-tarmacked runways. That is 29 billion. So this aircraft, literally, the auditor says, is literally non-functional. It doesn't do anything, but you are meeting high costs of its maintenance. So the question that arises, with this helicopter, who made the needs assessment? Notice this is the fixed wing. Actually, it's a plane. It's a plane. Who made a needs assessment that will procure a plane for police, which literally cannot land in the vast areas of Uganda? but you spend public money, and the damn stuff is just idle, we are meeting costs. I know the audit here may be intended to sell it, to justify why you want to sell it. Sometimes I know why this appears in the audit report. Because earlier we monitored, I don't know, it was procured by that time. You had intended to sell this aircraft. So you are bringing it here as an audit query for us to say you sell the damn stuff. I'm not taking on auditors. So what's, for us, the question, he who in the first instance authorized this procurement?
Chair, all assets depend on the assessment of what is required as capabilities for police. And by the time this plane was bought, that was the assessment. However, because it cannot land in unmarked areas in the country, we had the challenge of using it on an everyday basis. And Chair, it's not true that we are in the process of disposing it off. We are actually making it serviceable so that it can become operational again. Because now we have areas where...
So you are saying it's not operational now?
No, making it serviceable means it can fly, and it's like you having a car at
home. Yes, I understand.
Yeah, so that's what we are doing now. The disposal was a rumor, and it came on the floor of Parliament. We've been clarifying. It's not what we are planning to do.
But our runway is most of the country. So even if you serve it, where is it going to land? Apart from the new airport in... And Kisoro. Honorable Kuri, I don't want to monopolize this debate.
This was an asset. You rightly asked that who made an assessment for the purchase of this aircraft. But the way the PS is casually responding, to him there is no problem to spend 29 billion, and an aircraft moves from 2019 to 2025. Those are 6 years. And if it has moved for 117 kilometers, that means every year it moves 6 kilometers. So if you get the 29 billion and divide it into 6 years, you can divide
every
and
month.
See, yes, divide
Every
into
month.
every month, every week, every day, and every second. How much the country has lost on purchase of a 29 billion aircraft. And to the PS, it is business as usual. For him, he's comfortable.
To move 6 kilometers a year.
A year, 6 kilometers a year. And that is why he tells you we have an aircraft here, where casually. To him, it doesn't matter.
Service it.
So we service it, even if it doesn't work, we have money, we can service it. But he's the same person who cannot even provide a motorcycle to Zimbabwe. We don't have motorcycles, not even a bicycle, not even a wheelbarrow. So for me, I'm very uncomfortable, Honorable Chair, to the PS, for such a matter to casually respond. How many motorcycles would we have bought using this money, the 29 billion? Let him tell us, how many motorcycles would we have bought? So Chair, this cannot be left at this.
Chair, to add on that, I would like to know from the PS, did you personally go and inspect? Because my colleague is saying, the vice chairperson, that you answering casually. How do you spend a lot of money on such an aircraft, knowing that the conditions we have in Uganda, they don't allow? Why didn't you buy helicopters? Why did you have to buy a fixed-wing aircraft? Why didn't you buy pickups? So that I have many pickups in my district, in Mitiana.
Chair, one asset that is depreciating. You all know depreciation. I don't know what rate has been granted for its depreciation, but it is already wearing down. Why wouldn't this be one of those we would be hiring out there as we look for those who can partake of it? Otherwise, maintenance costs and operational costs for these aircraft all of us can agree it's running out of hand. Let this thing be parked at the airport there and people, tourists use and so on and so on. Maybe we might recover something. We might recover something.
Even the PS is
small one.
laughing.
Chair.
Because for all intent of purpose, the sitting capacity,
14,
14.
including the crew.
Including the what?
The crew.
The crew, 14. So the crew is no matter how many?
2.
So you bought a damn stuff that literally takes 12 people. 8.
But chair, government works on the principle of
Who was the head of procurement of this Nani? By that time, who was the head of procurement? Is he around?
Chair, let me answer that we work on the principle of continuity.
No,
Therefore, you inherit assets and liabilities.
No, there was a procurement officer by that time when this was procured. We want to get this fellow.
Mr. Chairman, let PS answer our questions.
For us,
And I have a CID officer here.
for us, we continue from what is handed over to you, and you continue.
No, but who
We
was
don't
the
work
procurement officer?
retrospectively.
Honorable Chair, the PS should not take us for granted, person to holder. When an activity is done, much as we are the PS now, if something was done by somebody else, that person would answer for themselves. So if they ask who was that person by then, you cannot say continuity, we all know. But I mean, they're asking a specific question. If somebody carried out an activity, I mean, you must say, because this is accountability. We are not here to tell us money who is due, sorry, but I mean...
Kaka, let me also give you a parliamentary resolution. Last year when they were passing the report, even accounting officer, we shall not be reporting, saying accounting officer of so and so. We shall put accounting officer, Mr. So and so. So who is this procurement officer that procured this?
But Chair, with due respect, do procurement officers purchase goods for themselves, or they are just...
No, we want him.
Because now that doesn't satisfy also the question you put on table. Because if I want to
You
acquire...
want now to determine
pen,
which questions I put on table.
Order.
No, Chair, what you are saying is...
Order.
You make it look like the procurement officer is the one who determines which...
No, he's the one I want. Who was the procurement officer? Why do you set yourself questions?
Did you procure yourself?
Yourself.
No,
Who was the procurement officer?
I need to find out.
Sir, don't answer us casually. I think you are beginning to take us for
Chair,
granted.
Mr. Chairman,
You are crossing the border.
Mr.
Chair, I do
Chairman,
not know the procurement officer that was there by that time. I can find out and let you know, because I need to be very clear on who was there at that time. I know the current procurement officer is not the one who was there.
But
during
Chair,
that
in
time.
the House,
I
we
know
have somebody
you
heading
are my
human resource.
brother and a long-time friend. Don't take this committee for granted and stop giving us casual answers. It's the last time I warn you.
Chair, the fact is,
No.
I do not know
Don't
the name.
cross the line by giving us answering casually. Who was the procurement officer, sir?
Chair,
Now, I want a procurement
I
officer.
don't know the name.
You don't know the name? Bring an oath. You know, no, bring. I'm going to cross-examine you on oath. Bring.
I've just been told the name. Chair, my neighbor here doesn't know, and I asked.
No, I'm saying, you see, the reason why you came with all these officers is to aid you. You cannot casually begin to come, please administer the sworn witness. I'm going to administer oath on you, and you begin to answer every question until the end of this session on oath.
Chair, with your indulgence, the fact that he knows the name, I request that for this one you stay the issue of the oath, and he gives us the name. Just if he happens to behave the same way, as we do proceed, at least you put him on oath. But for now, I request that because he has been really, much as he has been up and down, but for now you can. I request that, Chair, I really, with the support of members, Chair, I request that you stay this and he gives us the names. If he happens to behave the same way, we can then put him on oath. That is my request, Chair.
Mr. Chairman, you have already made a rule.
Don't be a stubborn witness. But if you continue to misbehave, I will immediately put you on oath. It doesn't matter how many officers you are. Even IDP, I can. On this day, Ruiz, I'm also with some authority. Outside here, you'll get me. But now, so let's study who was the procurement officer, sir?
Chair, I've been told he was actually called Isaac Chaligonza.
Is he around?
I think now he's in Minister of Finance.
You see, this is why we want to go for these people. They create these wastages and are moved to more juicy position. Who is Isaac who? CID? CID. Get Isaac Chalgonza today. By end of today. Query wastage of public resources. And from there, I want you to investigate this and give this committee a report in 2 weeks. And you'll have to give me a report by end of today, how far you have gone with getting that Chargonza. Is Chargonza who? He's in the Ministry of Finance.
But Chair, just a small one related with that. You see, at the level of procurement,
Clear-cut wastage of public resources. Somebody went, procured a plane, well knowing it will not function. 12-seater. Is it 12 crew? 12 capacity crew, including Nani, crew members. If it was a fighter jet, we would say it's okay. But for aviation purposes, was it an ambulance? Was it what? And you spent 28 billion. This damn thing has moved 117 kilometers. I think these 117 are just for routine service testing. Because once you have it there, routinely you have to fly it and see it is in better. That means it has not been functional in any way. And the gentleman gets moved to another ministry. And just move like that. Now from here, he will give us the details of who else did what. And it's not an issue I'm letting finishing it up here. After that report, I will summon another committee. We are going to follow this to the latter. Because elsewhere we've been very hard on other lesser people. But you can't find this kind of wastage of resources. You buy a plane, it's there, knowing it cannot. He asked a fundamental, did anybody go to inspect? Because inspection, did you do a proper needs assessment? Did you really need this aircraft? Was it a priority? In a country where you have areas, you can't pay your suppliers. You waste 28 billion, 29 billion, and you are a police force. Now let me now use your stick to hit you. I use your officer to investigate you. No, don't say she will have to do it.
They should not be
They
transferred.
don't do it, they also have no jobs here. You cannot investigate this one and say you are not useful. Don't be part of my committee. Oh, for redeployment, they will send me. They will give me more officers here. Now there is 28. We've talked about vehicles inspection. Now, you know, I'm very reluctant to review certain things, but as a committee, we will look at this canon section. heavily audited, but because of what I read, I don't want the public to know that some of of the somehow along the way we read and say, if we do this one, how will it be? As a committee, we are going to review the whole of this detailed audit on Canaan. And if need be, during our review of your report, we will job. Now, can you do 2, 1, 2, 3, these marine vehicles? Eh?
Mr. Chairman.
Honorable colleagues, can we do the marine? I need to get your opinion.
Mr. Chair, I propose that we move to 2.11.1
About?
on page 36. The closing and the beddings. Because this is more of an administrative. The response is that the budget has remained unfunded.
No, but
it's marine. So
marine, eh?
yes,
No,
marine.
yes, that's what I've seen it. But
So
also for some
no need to
2.121, delays in acquiring land titles for surveyed land.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
Hello? Sir, you survey land and you don't even have titles. And we've spent 1.15 billion. Have you seen it? Page 28. I observed that Uganda Police Force had surveyed 118 parcels of land by 2021 with the various parcels of land in the estates of the surveyed. Cadastral surveys and titling ongoing. However, I noted that 3 years later, land titles for the parcels in question have not yet been obtained. I further observed that the Uganda Police Force had spent 1.1 billion between 2021 and 22 on cadastral surveys and titling of additional parcels of land over the years before obtaining the titles for the initially surveyed ones, as shown in the table below. So you've spent all this money and no land title. Deputy IGP, much as it is the accounting officer. Really, this is.
I think could give us a detail of what we have in terms of lands. But what I know is that there are some land titles that have been acquired. But Chair, what we have to note is that we have almost close to 2,000 pieces of land that we have countrywide. And some of this land are given by the community using the gift deed. So sometimes we get the gift deeds, then we start the process of titling. Others we procure, and then others we buy, especially the ones of.
How secure is your land? You know, the last time I was shadow minister, there was, even where you have your headquarters, you had remained with the 60 acres only. You know, we had, but I think, who was with him? It's a battle we had to carry on and we had to fight, including having connections with the president. When Conman wanted to take your land, Sujuyi building you a lab for ballistic and forensic laboratory. And he was taking the whole land you had to remain with. Are you secure? And then there was a problem with that where you have those vehicles. For a man who converted the title then to 99, I think now it is moving to all that land for Pan-African something, including the most endangered land is where you have the headquarters.
That is UNAFRI, yeah.
UNAFRI. Have you Future Group? But how can people overtake your land? Future Group now has covered it with bonds and whatever. Where you had the vehicle inspection, is it still there? The vehicle inspection section. Is it still there?
Yeah, it's still
How much land are you remaining with?
Could you be giving us...
Including, because you see the police land,
size of
including
land
the
that we
one in where they have an headquarter, they are losing it. Everybody has, some African thing took over, Future Group took over, and I, you know, when I was the shadow minister, I followed it up. In mysteriously, the title now became 99 years. I know the story. And I see more encroachers. I pass there. Including now the one for vehicle, I see it. You are now very squeezed.
Mr. Chairman,
25 days.
Mr. Chairman,
The what?
25 days.
Mr. Chairman.
For the vehicles.
Mr.
Yeah,
Chairman.
first,
Audit report. Ebintu ebyenjawulo tulabyemu ebyemmotoka, tuli mu kubya ttaka, tuli ku bya ntambula eza waggulu n'ez'omu mazzi ne sub county police deployment. So basically ebintu bibadde bingi bye tubadde nga twogerako. Era tulaba nti waliwo obwetaavu obw'okuddamu okwetegereza ensonga nnyingi nnyo. Naddala ennyonyi, ensonga y'ennyonyi eyo eri mu buwumbi n'obuwumbi bw'essente nga katambula kilometers 16 nga eddukira ku ttaka ku kolansi si ku ttaka kwokka ate si helicopter because singa badde helicopter ebeera multipurpose yeegwa buli wamu wonna. Naye ennyonyi eri winged eyina obuwawaatiro kitegeeza it's an aircraft etambula ku tamaka ku luguudo lwaki lwa kolansi oba landway eyaki erya kolansi. Kitegeeza nti ayagenda okuinspectinga ennyonyi eyo teyakola mulimu gumala era tetumanyi lwaki ennyonyi eyo yakola ki yagulibwa eneereetebwa kubanga bwe tufuna ebibuuzo oba answers okuva mu abakulu aba police wa air traffic commander tatulambulidde bulungi tulaba nti omuli w'omusolo ssente nnyingi ezagenda so nga ate singa twali tuguzeemu emmotoka eza patrol, singa twali tuguzeemu pikipiki, singa buli sub county oba buli constituency oba buli district singa eyina ennyonyi eyina emmotoka singa eyina emmotoka singa eyina ne pikipiki ezikola ki ezimala buli awo ne ssente ezo zandibadde zizimbye ezimu ku mayumba g'abasirikale n'abantu basobola okuba nga bali mu mbeera ennungi okusinga okugula ennyonyi eyo etambudde eva 2010 etambudde emyaka 6 naye nga etambudde mayiro kilomita 16 zokka. Ekitatukyanyusizza nga ffe naye tusazeewo tuyite omukulu oyo ali omu kuba inspectinga oba kuba agenda okugula ennyonyi eyo ajja tunyonyole bulungi lwaki yagenda n'alaba ennyonyi eyo ng'alaba nti ennyonyi ya mipiira erina kuddukira ku kolansi aye n'agigula ng'agiretedde poliisi okukola emergency activities.
Kiswaza nnyo okulaba nti poliisi erina ebyetaago bingi esobola okuleka okukola ebintu ebyetaagisa negenda ekola ebintu ebirala ebitali agent kati ng'okugula ennyonyi biliyoni obuwumbi bwa ssente 28 ate nga tukimanyi nti poliisi ezisinga tebalina mayumba, bapoliisi tebalina motoka, bapoliisi districts ezimu tezirina motoka, DPCs, regional police commanders, bw'ogenda mu magombolola tebalina ebyetaagisa nga motorcycle, pikipiki. So ogenda okugula ennyonyi ate ennyonyi tebagikozesa. So kino kiba kuvumirira oba kuvuma abuse office ne sente ze babawa. So police erina priorities zaayo nga tebikola mu makubo kubo entuufu. So ate kyewuunya nti ate bw'otunuulira poliisi erina emmotoka ze yeetaaga naye ate ne bawa abantu abateetaaga na mmotoka. Osanga ba officers aba gavumenti omuntu lwakuba akulira ekitongole gindi naye ayagala baweridika abeere n'abakuumi bana n'atambulira mu kkubo gy'obeera nti ali president wa Uganda. So bino byonna kuvumirira ssente z'omusolo. Poliisi oba terina byakukola yeebuuze tusobole okubayamba ffe nga palamenti, kubanga si buli akulira ekitongole nti yeetaaga security. Nedda, bino ebitongole byaliwo okuva edda. Nakolako mu ofisi ya IGG tetwatambulanga na security, twatambula ate nga tubadde tukole omulimu gw'amaanyi, naye kati osanga buli muntu yenna ono akulira ekitongole gindi ayina lidika, ayina abakuumi abana. Zino zonna motoka ezandibadde ziyamba poliisi okutambuza emirimu gyabwe. So nsuubira nti omwaka guno gwembalira gye tugendamu poliisi ejja kuvaayo ejewe motoka zino mpozi erekere bali betumanyi nti obulamu bwabwe oba buli threatened, naye si buli muntu yenna. Ekyokubiri, eno ennyonyi eyaguze ennyonyi eno, abaabiguze abaasazeewo okugula ennyonyi eno baagula yaaki ate nga tebagikozesa. Bino byonna tujja birondoola era mu maaso eyo tusuubira nti abali responsible bajja kufuna discipline, bajja badisciplininga nga bwe kyetaagisa mu mateeka, kubanga kibi nnyo okulaba nti abapoliisi abamu ba pensioners tebabasasula ate nga ssente bazoonoona mu ngeri etali ntuufu.
Njogera nti ennyonyi eno essente obuwumbi 28 there is no value for money. Zandibadde zigenda ne ziyamba abantu baffe naddala abasirikale abapoliisi ne ziyongera kubazimbira accommodation, ne ziyongera okugula emmotoka, ne zongera okugula pikipiki nga mu district ez'enjawulo. District tulina nnyingi nnyo ezirina emmotoka nga nfu. Mu district yange y'Emityana yeetaaga emmotoka nga 5, yeetaaga sub-county zeetaaga emmotoka, constituency yange y'Emityana yeetaaga emmotoka nga mmeka. So n'olwekyo tulowooza nti ezo ssente zonna ayakola okusalawo okwo teyakolawo okusalawo kulungi kwansi kuyamba ggwanga wabula yakola okusalawo okwo ng'okukwe, kubanga twebuuza agenda atya okuinspecting ennyonyi eyo n'alaba nga ebiseera bye tulina byetaaga ennyonyi etebyetaaga n'aba nga agula ennyonyi efaanako bw'etyo. So ekyo kyali kibi, tulowooza nti alina okujja nannyonnyola lwaki yakola ekyo okufiiriza ssente z'omusolo. Ensonga gye twogeddeko endala ensonga ya patrol vehicles, emmotoka zino ezigoberera lead cars ezigoberera abakungu. Twetaaga tumanyi ani alina okufuna lead car. Oba olina okugifuna lwaki togula mmotoka yo? Mpozi oba oli awo n'osaba poliisi n'ekuwa baba personnel n'ekuwa abasirikale naye ng'olina emmotoka ki? Emmotoka ezo n'emmotoka eza poliisi ne zigenda zikola emirimu mu bantu baffe abawansi. Naye osanga emmotoka mpya tuku ate ekoze eridinze eri ku lead car role ate nga abantu baffe eri wansi beetaaga emmotoka bazikola ki? Tebaziina. Ensonga y'ettaka linnagulu twogeddeko ettaka ligenda liggwawo, ligenda likendera okusalawo okufaana kutya. Ani asalawo okukola bw'atyo? Abantu baffe batuleete documents ezitulaga nti ettaka lino lyagenda bw'eti lino lyagenda bw'eti. Tujja okulaba nga amataawo gonna agandibadde gayamba eggwanga oba ensi gakoze eki? Gagenze mu bantu ate nga tegagenze mu ki? Mu butuufu bwago.
Kakati poliisi yagula ennyonyi. Ekyokusooka akanyonyi ke baagula katwala abantu 12 nga mulimu ne ba pilot ne ba crew. Tegeeza abantu abasobola okutambulira mu 8 ne bakagula obuwumbi 29. Akanyonyi kano bakagula 2019 myaka 5 emabega. Kakatambula kilomita 117 zokka. Ekitegeeza katambulamu nga bakakola service. Kitegeeza buli mwaka katambula kilomita 6. Akanyonyi ke baagula tekasobola kugwa ku bisaawe ate bakagula kola muno tekasobola kugwa ku kisaawe kitaliiko kolas. Kati obusaawe bwonna bwe tuneeyo mu kyalo tekagwayo. So kali awo Malyansimbi balisitaaka nako tebamanyi kyakakolera, naye kati twebuuza nti muntu kyoyo yakola okunoonyereza n'asanga obwetaavu nga bwebwo bwe twetaaga kugula kanyonyi $1. Abagula ebyo tebalina wadde pikipiki ku sub-county. Abagula ennyonyi etabuuka disitulikiti ezisinga tezina wadde emmotoka. Abagula ebyo balina amabanja ze bayita areas za buwumbi 1,666 1,012. N'olwekyo abagula ebyo ssente za uniform tebaziina naye bagula olukangaga lw'akanyonyi akatabuuka. Kakati ensonga emu ku gye tubuuziza poliisi, kwaba Uganda ababulijjo tuyinza okwogera bino byonna naye ejjoogo lisusse ku nguudo. Buli avaayo gy'ava agamba ye asaanidde okumuviira. Kati abantu bakitwa nti gavumenti bekuwa obukuumi tekitegeeza nti ekuwadde right of way. Poliisi tutegeezezza nti abantu president, speaker, vice president, prime minister, chief justice ne special vehicles ezina emirimu egy'enjawulo nga ambulance ate nga zigenda kukola mirimu ezisigadde byonna bonna bano ku luguudo joogo eriwedde emirimu. N'olwekyo tugambye poliisi tubasabe nti ejjoogo ku kkubo likome, batandikire okukangavvula abantu bonna abeeyisa obubi ne bateekamu obugombe ne bateekamu amataala agaziba mu ggwe nga tolaba. Ebyo byonna abuse, kukozesa bubi buyinza nanguudo. Kakati balese policing areas batulaze nti basaanidde okuteeka poliisi 18 ku buli sub-county. Naye ne bw'obateekayo nga tobawadde entambula, kyova olaba obubbi bw'ente, bw'enkoko, bwaki bweyongedde okugenda mu maaso. Ng'ate ne batugamba nti police stations baazitwala ku maki, ku magombolola. Naye ate n'ebitundu ebisinga tebinafuna bukuumi obwo, kutwala ku buli gombolola, kutwalayo poliisi.